Hello and welcome to Proteus 3D. My name is Samuel Morissette and this is how I made. On this episode, I am very happy to show you how I made this very cool part. Now, really, these parts are just on the bleeding edge of what is possible in terms of fabrication and engineering. These parts, you would be surprised how much time goes into making these and also designing them. There's a lot of thought behind them. The geometry there's really nothing on these parts that are just guesswork. Just the machining aspect of it is really in and of itself something to behold. This one probably, as I can see here, inside there, it's probably machined, but a lot of times these now are being 3D printed, which can really push the envelope of what is possible. This part here, well, I'm really not sure what the material is, but if I had to guess, I think it had to be titanium. Now, titanium is a very resistant alloy to heat, and it is quite hard as well. This part here that I have in my hands was scrapped. It is not useful anymore. It was in the bin. So how are we going to go about making this? Well, I am actually going to scan it, 3D scan it, which I will show. And then we will take that scan and then try to approximate the shape. Now, this is really not going to be an attempt to copy something precisely. This is going to be simply trying to get as close as we can. So, how are we going to go about this? We are going to go and make a loft here for the blade in and of itself. Now, the blade here, really quick, it starts with a certain geometry, right? It's a certain shape, but then that shape, if you make cross section, if you were to cut it in half along this way, you would see that the shape in and of itself would change. So here it's very flat, and here it's actually curved. If you can see that right there. So it's really interesting how these parts are made, how they are designed. Now, we're going to go and make a loft here in SolidWorks. We're going to then make this very funky little sort of, I couldn't really say what it's for or what it's called, but this feature here, we're going to then make that. And then we're going to make the base. So this is what I'm going to be calling the base. This is what is used to attach the blade to the turbine. So I'm very excited about this, and let's get to it. Alright, so here's our part. It is ready to be scanned now. There is a small film of white powder on there. This is to help the scanning process. So without further ado, I'm going to press play here, and that's going to start the scan. Okay, so what's happening here is that there are lines, as you can see, that are projected onto the part. And maybe I can move over here, that'll help. And then these lines, as you can see, as they are projected onto the part, there we go. The scanner takes pictures, and with those pictures can triangulate the geometry of the part. So every time it spins, it takes a new picture, and then all those angles of the part, if you will, every time it spins, it will then compile all those images into one part, creating a 3D part. So that's really quickly how 3D scanning works. Okay, so as you can see, there is some of the part that is not visible to the scanner. That is normal. So what we're going to do now is we're going to flip the part over and get some more of that geometry. Okay, so now we're going to start saving the file. And there it is. That is the actual 3D scan. Now, the scan is done. We just need to orientate it now. The scan doesn't necessarily orientate it to where we want the X, Y, and Z0 to be, the datum. So this is what I'm doing right now. Making sure that everything is square. And the red dot there is my X, Y, and Z0. So I'm aligning it as best I can. This geometry is not very square. So I'm trying to get something that's good to align it with, just an edge. So that's good. That's the part done. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for part 2.